Hi, I'm Carolyn Webster-Stratton, coming to you from Seattle, Washington in the United States. I am delighted to be invited to talk to you today about ways that we affirm and support cultural diversity in our programs. Let's start by looking at this short video about the program and some of the parents, and after that we will talk about the background for the program, the research, and some of the methods of delivering the program.
Do you guys want to do some drawing?
He's hugging the dog.
Yeah. This is pretty fun. Whoa.
Ya lo puse, ya lo va a empezar a arreglar. Es como un mecánico, ¿verdad?
¿Ya lo arregló?
¿Ya lo arregló tan rápido?
Sí.
Bueno, pues entonces ahora hay que pasearnos en la carretera. Tú primero y luego yo voy atrás de ti.
Do you want an apple?
Oh, thank you. Not too much, I'll get full. I reached out to someone who put me onto Incredible Years. I had to go in with an open mind, which I did, and yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it and learned a lot of tools, which has helped me and also helped with my parenting towards my kids.
Parenting is a little bit a hard part to raise the kids the way they should be. Not easy, and the need is also information. How can you raise your kids?
What comes after 18?
Matthew.
Uh-huh.
Timmy.
Good. Yay. Good job.
Let's see, so you're looking for one with 4 dots, is that right? If he's struggling with the Lego piece, I don't want to just go solve the problem for him immediately. I want him to kind of stick with it. If it's a Lego thing on my phone, like rotate it around, look at it from a different view, try it a couple different ways, and I want him to problem solve. Oh, 8 total dots.
We have 2 daughters and we have 2 very distinct challenges with using their voice.
I think one of the biggest challenges has been like allow them to have their own processes, including messing up.
¿Ves? Mira cómo lo hago para que mis manos nunca están debajo del cuchillo.
With Conrad, you know, I have to be a lot more purposeful or intentional about checking in with him.
Do you want to help me put them together?
Sure.
And if I don't do that, then I do get the sense that he acts out more.
Go here. You want to play?
When I had the opportunity at my children's childcare to do the Incredible Years, I jumped at the opportunity because I have 2 little kids, and there were times I just felt like I didn't know what to do with them when they were struggling or pushing boundaries. I thought I would know, but I needed more help.
Well, what can help you calm down so you?
I didn't really have a guide or understanding of like how to parent. I just knew that I didn't want to parent the same way that I was raised.
Imagine the piece has 4 sides, right?
So it has 4 sides here and...
And you can rotate the piece until it fits somewhere.
Oh, good girl for sharing. Parenting, as we know, doesn't come with a manual. It doesn't come with, you know, a list of instructions of how to do things right. And good boy for asking too. Well done. The stuff that I've learnt through Incredible Years has helped me to feel confident about the things that I do and how I do them.
I'm so pleased today to be able to talk to you about ways that we affirm and support diversity when delivering the Incredible Years programs to families and young children. Earlier the intervention, the better. Early intervention has a greater chance of capitalizing on the brain neural plasticity in early life. We now know so much that we've learned in the last few decades about how we can successfully scaffold the architecture of the brain and promote brain development in optimal ways. Parents, daycare providers, and preschool teachers have a unique opportunity to strengthen a child's social, emotional, and academic and language skills and prevent the cascading of cumulative risk factors. A supportive parent-child, teacher-child relationship enhances the well-being and the resiliency of children's positive outcomes. Evidence-based parent programs have consistently been shown to prevent and reduce child neglect and abuse by increasing parents' positive responsive parenting, parent-child relationships, and family well-being and support. They've also been shown to promote children's social and emotional and cognitive development and reduce behavior problems. They've been shown to reduce parent depression and stress and to promote parent confidence and family well-being. However, unfortunately, the proportion of child welfare referred families that ever receive an evidence-based parenting program is rather low. Evidence-based programs are a worthwhile investment. We know that because the prevention of any one child of neglect and abuse and the promotion of their social and emotional development and the substance diversion of any child from a life of crime saves us money. It results in fewer crimes and cost benefits. Some say around 1.7 to 2.3 million per child that has been saved. Here are some of the evidence-based programs that I have developed. I started by developing, the first program was the basic program for preschool children between the ages of 3 and 6. I did research with that program and then went on to research programs with older age children, 6 to 12. Following that, I started to realize that really we were waiting too long and we needed to start at a younger age, and I began to develop the baby and the toddler program. The advanced program was developed a little bit later. Actually, it was after I had my own children, and that was to talk about other interpersonal factors for the families, such as how to deal with anger or depression and how to build your support system. Other programs that I developed later included programs where we could get to families as prevention programs. We didn't wait until children had diagnoses or they were in trouble. And we also developed something called the Attentive Parenting Program, which can be offered to all children, of children between the ages of 2 and 5. Following the development of the parenting programs, I realized that we needed to work with the teachers as well. And many times the children are spending more time with teachers than they actually are with their parents. So at that point, I developed several programs for teachers and daycare providers of young children between the ages of 1 and 8 years of age. I also developed a program for teachers who are working with children on the autism spectrum. And finally, another program was directly for working with the children themselves that the teachers or therapists could use to teach the children social skills, self-regulation skills, and language development. And this is called the Child Dinosaur Program, which uses puppets, and there's both a treatment version as well as a prevention version. Now, the slide's a little bit complicated. Just to give you the broad brush on this one, you can find it on the website. But here, what we're doing is talking about how we add programs together depending on the risk factors. So we start at the bottom, so hopefully all parents are provided with parenting support when they have babies and toddlers. And then we begin to add other programs depending on whether the family has children with more developmental problems or other risk factors and they need additional support. And so this can include adding pieces such as teacher training or adding the social emotional curriculum for the children directly themselves. So we have a kind of layering on according to the risk factors and the context of the situations that the family are dealing with. Okay, I'm going to give you just a little bit of an example here of the basic program, which was the first one I mentioned that we developed, which was for the basic parents of children between the ages of 3 and 6. And you can see from this pyramid here, we really start at the bottom, where we build a strong foundation to the relationship. We're really working with the attachment between the parents and the children as soon as possible, teaching them about how to play with children, how to support them in responsive ways, in caring and loving ways. And then we move up the pyramid when we need to. Sometimes we use a little incentives for the children. And then up the pyramid further, how we set limits in respectful ways, how we build consistent routines, and how we move on from that to manage misbehavior when it occurs. But building the foundation of the pyramid is really the importance. We can see here we spend a lot of time on that relationship building before we move into the discipline pieces. Short-term goals of the program are to improve the parent, teacher, and child care provider attachment, their sensitive responsiveness with their child. We also want to reduce harsh discipline at home and at school, and we want to reduce parent and teacher stress and increase their confidence and their sense of being supported. We want to improve home, school, child care, communication, and working together. The goals for the child themselves are for them to have a secure attachment and for them to be comfortable discovering and exploring, for them to learn how to be emotionally expressive and to self-regulate their emotions, build their social skills, their friendship skills, build their problem-solving skills, build their ability to be compliant, more compliant with parents and teachers so that they can be taught, and help them to be academically ready for school, that they have the literacy and they have the language skills that they need, and to reduce the amount of non-compliance and aggression that they have. Long-term goals are to reduce their conduct disorders, their anxiety problems, their depression, their school dropout, violence, and substance abuse. The Incredible Years programs have been shown in over 20 different countries around the world with culturally diverse populations, and we have around 16 different translations. And you can see here from this slide the different countries we've worked in. Largely you can see we've shown it a lot in the United States, we've delivered in the United Kingdom, but many other countries. Notable here would be New Zealand, who've trained over 3,000 group leaders to deliver the parent and teacher programs. Well, let's go back a little bit. What do we mean by evidence-based programs? Oftentimes programs are labeled evidence-based, but what is that? What is that? Fairly high bar, but people expect that evidence-based means that there have been at least 2 randomized control group trials where families have been assigned to the intervention or to no further services. And that there has been at least 1 independent replication doing a randomized control trial by an investigator other than the developer, so that other people can get the same results, is what we're trying to find out. The studies also should be using evidence-based, if you will, measures, standardized measures, and not just self-report measures, but they're also doing independent observations of parent-child or teacher-child interactions at home or in the school. And we have done assessments directly with the children themselves. In addition, we would like to see that studies have at least 1-year follow-up so that we know that the results that we get immediately post-intervention are sustainable at least 1 year later. So in looking at our programs, I'll just give you a very brief summary of these, and you can find these on the website if you'd like to look at the actual research that's been done. But in terms of the parent program, we've done 9 randomized trials in our own lab with treatments. This is with diagnosed children. And we've done 4 prevention. And in our case, the prevention studies have been high-risk schools, such as Head Start, that are addressing children that are coming from poverty situations. There's been at least 14 different studies done by independent researchers in countries, including Canada, England, Finland, Holland, Norway, Portugal, Spain, and Wales. We've had at least 2 follow-up, 10-year follow-up studies. One we did ourselves, and one was done in England, following up 10 years later to see how the children were doing. Teacher programs, something similar. You'll see we've done 3 randomized trials, and there have been at least 7 independent trials from different countries. In terms of the child programs, there's been 3 randomized trials that we have done in our own lab for the treatment for diagnosed children and 2 prevention trials. In addition, there have been 3 or more independent randomized control trials by investigators in other countries, including Norway, Wales, Spain, and United States. Okay, so what kind of results did we get? In general, all of the studies found pretty consistent results in terms of positive and responsive parenting and teaching skills, decreases in harsh discipline, reductions in parent depression and stress, increased parent and teacher self-confidence, and reductions in children's behavior problems. We've also seen improvements in children's social competence, in their emotional literacy, and their self-regulation skills. In general, their overall school readiness skills were higher. Okay, I would like to thank the National Institute of Health Government in the United States for their funding to make all of this research possible. I'm very grateful to that. I am Canadian, and I came here as a Canadian, and I am just, the fact that I got this funding as a Canadian citizen, I'm now also a U.S. citizen, for being able to make this possible. I'm laughing a little bit because I'm looking at the picture of myself and my family, and these are my children who I'm grateful to for supporting me as I went through all of these research studies with them. So why is understanding diversity important? It's such a key part of the Incredible Years program. And all of the work that I've done for many years around the world has shown me that every parent in the world wants the best for their children. They want to promote their children's optimal development and well-being. The Incredible Years framework brings a multicultural collaborative process to this universal issue in a way that is driven by the individual culture and the goals for each family. Using a multicultural approach is why I think the Incredible Years works with different families around the world. Why is affirming diversity important in delivering the programs? Well, when we deliver the Incredible Years programs, we experience and listen to the different voice of a culturally diverse group of parents and teachers. No one voice is greater than the other one, and all are worthy of being heard. By valuing our cultural diversity, we strengthen our families' understanding of each other and bring about the well-being of communities as well as of families themselves. What does the concept of valuing diversity mean? It means acceptance and respect for each culture. It means understanding that each individual is unique and recognizes our individual differences, even within the same culture. It can be along dimensions of race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, age, physical abilities, religious beliefs, political beliefs, or other beliefs. It involves the exploration of these differences in a safe and positive and nurturing environment. It is about moving beyond simple tolerance of a culture to embracing and celebrating the rich dimensions of diversity contained within each individual. If you'd like to read more about this is a book that I wrote about collaborating with parents to reduce children's behavior problems, and Chapter 7 talks about affirming diversity. We start by translating the handouts for the parents or the teachers and working with group leaders who are bilingual so that they can read the texts and the group leader manuals. The translations are constantly being developed, and they take a lot of time and a lot of testing. And the important thing is that they're translated for meaning. We're looking here at this picture of a pig, where we're talking about remembering to build up your bank account here with love and caring and play and praise and so on. And on the right-hand side here, you can see how we translated it for the Arabic community. We didn't use the pig itself because that has a different meaning in Arabic countries. But we used another kind of a bank. And the coins that we putting in are all the same words of love and caring and play and so on. But what I wanted to say in general is that this translation for meaning with the graphics as well as with the words is so important to helping people understand the program concepts. And we do that by having our trained Incredible Years mentors check all the translations, by doing back translations, by independent translators, and piloting the translations with the participants before finalizing them. And so I'm just going to show you here another example of one that we just did for the Maori people in New Zealand. And here, instead of using a bank or pig, we're using the keti. And the keti has a lot of meaning for the Maori people, the keti basket. It's made of flax, and the keti is this flax as a sort of a symbol to represent strength, and it shows the weaving of the fibers. So here again, the keti is used to put in all of the critical ingredients, if you will, to promoting relationships with children, and the picture represents that. We're going to see a couple in America. One's an African-American man and another Asian woman, just reflecting on the cultural relevance of the program for them.
In my parent group, we had people from Chinese culture, tradition, people Spanish, Latin background. So there were different other cultural groups. And I did felt it was culturally sensitive because the good parts you want to keep. And I think that's what I love about the curriculum and Incredible Years, that you're able to keep, you know, the things that you want to keep in your tradition and culture.
How you were raised is how the next generation is supposed to be raised. And I didn't want to do that because I knew how it affected me, how it affected my friends. I now have something other than what my parents taught me or what I learned from my family as far as parenting. I'm now creating my own list of things to do.
It's not like it's taking away anything or it's replacing anything. To me, I feel like it's adding to what you already know and just giving you more tools. And I think a lot of parents, they need that. Like sometimes you just are stuck. Because the situations that we talked about were universal, you know, it was the same. It's like your kids are fighting, they're arguing, they're whining, they're not expressing themselves, they're just screaming, you know, and having tantrums and things. We were all experiencing that, so I felt like we had a good place, a common ground, and I think that, you know, transcends all cultures, is to be able to talk to other parents who are going through similar things and have that support. Even after the program, you know, some of the parents we recognize each other when we go pick up our kids and like, thank you so much for talking about such and such. I was dealing with that too.
What do we mean? You've heard a lot about promoting evidence-based programs and delivering them with fidelity. What does that mean? It means to the degree to which the program is delivered as it was designed in the original model that was researched. So just a few key factors of fidelity are, first of all, what is the adherence to the program? Were all the core components of the program used? Were the protocols followed? Was it delivered with the same dosage? That is, was the length of time that it was offered the same? Was the quality of the methods and processes used adhered to? were the people who participated in the program satisfied with the program? Did we get high program satisfaction and low dropouts? How was the program differentiated? In other words, how was the program tailored to the population that was served, to the family structure, to the culture, to the children's developmental issues and the mental health issues? So those are some of the important components of delivering the program with fidelity. The training of the group leaders for delivering with fidelity is really important. And that includes 3, if it's in person, full days. And if it's online, we have 5 to 6 half days. It includes post-training consultation and support, either in person or online, by our accredited trainers and mentors. It includes peer coaching. That is, accredited group leaders are coaching and supporting each other as they go through the program to assure the methods and processes are being followed too. And it supports accreditation for the group leaders themselves. Incredible Years program leader methods and process. What does that mean in terms of fidelity delivery? It means that it's developmentally based and trauma-informed, that the leaders are culturally sensitive, that they address the participants' short and long-term goals, that it emphasizes the therapeutic relationship, the collaborative process, that it emphasizes learning principles of behavior change, emphasizes of coping versus a mastery model. It promotes the parent's self-reflection, to think about things, to experience them, to problem solve, to try them out. What else does it involve? The methods and processes the leaders use include video modeling. So videotape is used as a trigger for discussions. Videos are also used to set up practices. So they'll watch something on the video and then they'll try it out to see how it works for them. It focuses on the cognitions, the feelings, and the behavior changes and the attachment or the relationship with the child. There's weekly goal setting and self-monitoring. Parents decide themselves what their goals are for the week, what's realistic for them to achieve, and practice activities. It includes group support, which is a key component of the program. Parents supporting each other and cheering for each other's successes. It includes being sensitive to the socioeconomic barriers. And so, for example, we provide dinners and foods and transportation and daycare. It adapts to the cultural context and the family differences. And it adapts as well to children's developmental differences. So some children may have language delays, so we want to work on that. And every child is at a different place in that regard. Studies have shown that the greater the fidelity to the program, the better the outcomes. So I often would talk to group leaders about them being gardeners, that they're like the gardeners. They're trying to provide the parents with support, with water, if you will, with sustenance, with sunshine, so that they can grow as parents and feel confident about what they're doing and do the same for their children. That we're scaffolding the parents in their learning processes. As well as being gardeners, we also expect our group leaders to be like tailors. So you can imagine a tailor. If you are a tailor, someone is coming to you and your job is to make them some clothes. And you make them fit differently for every individual, because every individual has a different size or shape or preference or color that they like. And so you try to find out what is best suited for them. And you know that what fits one person won't fit another the same way. So the goal is to help the person look the best way they possibly can be. So like the tailor has a lot of tools, right? They have scissors, they have sewing machines and needles and so on. The Incredible Years group leader does have a lot of tools. Well, let's tell you a little bit of what tailoring is not. And it is not expecting one size shoe to fit all the needs, and is not providing one garment for every different occasion. And it is not trying to make someone a person that they aren't. And I don't know if you can see this one. This is a man asking if he can look like George Clooney, who in the United States is considered a very handsome man. And of course, we're not trying to make everybody into the same person. So like the tailor, tailoring with fidelity fit means that we're collecting baseline data. We're trying to understand the population, the culture, the family being served. And then we're trying to customize to their sizes, their culture, their preferences, their purposes, their goals, really. And we use, like the tailor who uses a pattern, we have a protocol as a template for each of the sessions that we do. And like the tailor who does a fitting, we do practices where we try out the ideas to see if they will work or not. And we also try to provide space and time for growth and change as parents learn more things. What have we learned about Incredible Years program adaptability and tailoring? Well, we've learned that the Incredible Years Parent Program is adaptable to different cultures and different family risk factors, if you will see from the research that has been done. And we have learned that the historical development of the Incredible Years programs involves tailoring. You can't deliver the program if you aren't doing it in a collaborative way, where you're including adaptation to the individual participant goals and children's varied developmental levels and their diagnoses. Beneficial adaptations and tailoring with fidelity do occur when the program is tailored to the children's developmental level, to the parents' or teacher goals. When individual coaching is combined with the group support for the higher risk families, so they may be in a group, but they may also be getting some home coaching or some individual practice time. When the number of sessions is increased as needed, especially when translators are needed. So while there may be a certain number of sessions, very often when we're working with different cultural groups or different languages, we're adding more sessions. Ongoing booster sessions are provided to sustain effects, especially for the higher risk families. And by booster, I mean after the program's over, we bring the parents back to kind of deal with what they've learned and what new things have come up and how we can support them. The program also promotes homeschool connections, so we work with the consistency of the approaches, that what the parents are doing at home is supporting what the teachers are doing at school and vice versa. So we get consistency across settings for these children. Beneficial adaptations also include cultural identity and language, which is valued. So we try to speak in the language of the people where possible, or it's integrated in some way into the program delivery. The handouts are translated to represent the home language and the cultural concepts. The Incredible Years mentors and coaches are culturally competent and, if possible, represent the diverse cultural groups themselves. The Incredible Years mentors and the coaches and group leaders are supported with supervision and by organization managers, and accreditation is valued. Non-beneficial adaptations occur when the program protocol is not followed, or the length of the program is shortened and key content is left out. When core training methods are left out or the sequence of the program is changed. So for example, the group leader decided to deal with discipline before building the relationship, and it's really important that the sequence be followed. Or somebody decides like we could do the program in half the time, when the research shows that the number of sessions that leads to the effects that we're getting. When the videos themselves are not tailored to the population according to the individual goals. So there's a lot of selection of videos, and you can choose the ones that represent the culture or the goals of the family themselves. You don't have to show all of them. You'll show the ones that best meet the needs for that group. Non-beneficial adaptations occur when group leaders are not adhering to the collaborative training process, and when they're not provided with sufficient supervision or consultation or support post-training, when the workload is unrealistic, or they have limited resources so they can't provide daycare, or they can't provide transportation if needed for some families, or food. So building a strong Incredible Years training and support foundation is really important. And it isn't just choosing an evidence-based program that makes a difference. Good evidence-based dissemination means providing a quality, culturally competent training, quality supervision and consultation, ongoing support, ongoing evaluations, building a supportive agency or an infrastructure of group leaders, of coaches, of mentors, and ensuring ongoing diverse community involvement and evaluation feedback. Research paints a picture of both hope and warning at the same time. It tells us the importance of providing parents with adequate support systems to help them build strong bonds with their children. It also warns us about the risks if we don't provide the environmental, the family, and the school supports for supporting young children's well-being. By valuing our cultural diversity, we strengthen our families, we bring about healthy families and healthy community, and it pays dividends far into the future for the well-being of our children. I'd like to show you now a video of a new immigrant father who I just recently had a chance to interview. And I think you're really going to enjoy what he talks about he learned from child-directed play.
Look, I made a dumpling. It's a dumpling.
Parenting in our back home, people treat the people culturally the way being treated with their parents.
Good job, wallahi. Wow.
But here start from the needs of the kids.
How about we all make a town?
Oh, great. Let's start the town.
It's a whole new concept because you're saying that now the child is going to explore this and you are a support to the child. You're not the one, you're guiding this child to do this.
So what do we do?
And coming from that background, it's hard.
The giraffe is trying to get to go to the other side.
Oh.
But cars are going, so we're going to take the cars out.
And now we're going to put this here.
The culture you come with is a little bit different from the culture you are coming in. So in this regard, you need some help, or people helps you how to act and how to integrate with the new culture, you and your families as a parents.
How cool you down yourself for those when you feel angry?
Coloring up with kids.
The newcomers should have a lecture about parenting. This issue is not easy.
Teaching the self-control, it's not part of our culture and have not done a lot of that, but I think learning it is important.
So when I am mad, I usually just let go of my frustration and my madness.
We're teaching our kids to be successful here. They have to be able to carry themselves in a way that will impact them positively in life. So, and those are parts of how you get into conflict, how you solve the conflict, and how can you control yourself and your emotions.
When I'm so mad, I just take 3 deep breaths.
Because parenting is a big issue. That builds a family. A family builds a community will build a country will build a world. That it starts from the parenting.
Here's your dog.
Thank you for allowing me to come to your house.
Wow.
What about if we make a gate in here? What about if we make a gate?
Yes!
So parenting is not an easy thing.
Wow. It was very difficult, but you got it.
Where does this go?
And we need also a capacity building, parental capacity building, what it looks like, how can you act with the children.
I hope you really enjoyed seeing those families. We're really excited about the new opportunities to bring these vignettes to families around the world. And I want to thank you so much for your commitment to supporting families and to delivering evidence-based programs with fidelity. Thank you.